Hey guys! So, I decided to try some Terraria and I will be honest, I've only played this game a single time randomly on stream and I have no idea what I am doing and no idea what I'm getting myself into. Like Stardew Valley, you basically just get thrown into this world with no direction. You just need to play the game. Don't get me wrong, I really like this type of game because nothing beats accidentally finding out secrets and slowly progressing in your adventures. I learned quite quickly that you will take tons of damage in this game if you are not careful. In the beginning, I had the option of crafting wooden armor or cactus armor. Naturally, I went with the cactus armor because you kind of look like a green dragon and that just looks much better than boring normal wooden armor. Unfortunately, they provide the same level of defense, so this was purely a cosmetic choice. So this might seem strange, and I don't really have a good reason for this, but my weapon of choice is a yo-yo. There are so many options. I could have gone for a broadsword, a bow and arrow, and all kinds of great weapons, but I thought a yo-yo would be cool. You'll see that the yo-yo does prove to be a very punishing decision. There is something about the mining in this game that just feels satisfying and rewarding. I think I played this game for 5 hours straight last night, and in those 5 hours I barely achieved anything. I was just mostly mining in the depths of the world looking for rare materials, enemies to slay, and those live crystals that increase your maximum health. I found quite a few of them and very quickly increased my maximum health. Eventually, I was feeling comfortable battling enemies. Sure, it took longer than it needed to because of this silly yo-yo, but it was going alright. But this was a false sense of security because I died, and I died a lot. Often I would die by being overwhelmed by enemies, or I would just die by a boulder, or just by falling into lava. I was not expecting to die this much. Thankfully, dying is not that punishing. The most annoying thing about dying is getting back to where you died so you can continue diving deeper and continue exploring. At some point, I managed to craft a makeshift grappling hook with amethysts, and I randomly found an accessory that gave me double jump. These really changed the way I explored caverns, and I don't really know how I managed to do anything without these things. The grappling hook is a little bit weird to use, and I think it gets me in trouble sometimes. But with it, I don't need to build a bunch of platforms to leave the cavern. I saw a couple of random Terraria videos that eventually you can get like these wings and all kinds of amazing things to make traversing the terrain trivial, and I cannot wait for that. It just seems so much fun. After many hours of grinding rare ores and dying way more than I should have, I managed to craft some better gear. I almost had a full set of silver armor. It made a big difference. It's kind of hard to tell because just as I got the better armor, I started to find harder enemies that did more damage. So yeah, I was still dying quite a bit. Then I randomly found a large mandible blade. This is like the arm of one of those wasp guys. And let me just say this, the timing could not have been better because I died, and where I spawned back at my small house, there was a blood moon event. If I only had a yo-yo, there was absolutely no way I would have been able to survive this huge wave of enemies. This weapon is melee, but what makes up for its low range is, well, everything. It hits much faster, it knocks enemies back, and it does considerably more damage. Maybe this is normal because I never tried to use a sword as I was living the yo-yo life. The very next day was another event. Suddenly, it was raining slimes. Initially, I was very happy with this because I could just defeat tons of slimes with my new melee weapon. Slimes do give some gold when they die, but there were so many slimes, I thought I could just farm a bunch of gold against them. So I just defeated as many slimes as I could. I got a green and blue slime banner, and then all of a sudden, something spawned. A giant king slime suddenly spawned out of nowhere. Apparently, he only spawns if you defeat 150 regular slimes during this event. If I had known that, I might not have gone on a slime massacre. Someone recommended that I build a fighting arena like this, which helped out a ton, but I was not ready for the king slime. I did not set up any campfires yet, and yeah, I was not prepared for a boss fight at this point. To not get overwhelmed, my strategy was to focus down the regular slimes with my new mandible claw, and then hit the boss with the yo-yo. But I kept taking damage and my healing potions were on cooldown. I then had what I thought was a great idea. I jumped off my platform to try and get to safety. I thought if I used the grappling hook on the ground, I would not take any fall damage. Maybe I did it wrong, but that is what killed me. The king slime did not do the finishing blow, the floor did. Unfortunately, after I respawned, he was not here, so I will have to try and defeat the king slime another time. Next time, I will be much more prepared. Even though I died, fighting a boss was a ton of fun, and I wanted more. So instead of waiting patiently for a boss to spawn, I decided to craft a suspicious eye. If you use a suspicious eye during the night, the Eye of Cthulhu will spawn. To craft a suspicious eye, I only needed 6 lenses, which I got by defeating demon eyes. Then I had to go to a crimson altar to craft it. Luckily for me, there was one quite close to my base, and it wasn't that deep underground somewhere. So I had the suspicious eye, but this time, I will not be making the same mistakes as I made last time. The Eye of Cthulhu is going down. I was not taking any chances against this boss, so I finally managed to get a full set of silver armor, which gave me a set bonus that further increased my armor. I also found this random statue somewhere that gives a defense boost to the player. I also placed on 4 campfires. Campfires will cause your health to slowly regenerate when the player is near one. They do not stack, I just placed 4 because I was a little bit paranoid. For weapons, I had a yo-yo called Rally, which I randomly found somewhere. I had my decent melee weapon, and I decided to craft 150 bone spears, just in case. I wanted to try and beat the Eye of Cthulhu with only the yo-yo, but I bought other weapons just in case the yo-yo sucked. I randomly crafted an amethyst wand because I was curious as to what it actually does. It is an interesting weapon and it helped me out at the lava levels, but I did not get to use it against this boss. Naturally, I had some food that gives me a small buff to my stats and 8 healing potions. With all of this preparation, what could go wrong? Well, it turns out I might have over-prepared for this because I didn't seem to struggle at all. I think I threw 2 bone spears just to see how much damage they do, but basically, I only used my yo-yo on this boss. I think it might be due to my difficulty settings, or maybe the first boss in Terraria is just not meant to be that difficult. But I was not having any problem with the Eye of Cthulhu, and I was not even moving around that much. He is just really slow and really easy to dodge. And when he does manage to hit you, he does not do that much damage. I will be honest, I had harder fights in the lava areas where there are many enemies and they kind of swarm you, making it hard to avoid damage. Or maybe this fight is just easier because of platforms that gave me plenty of room to move around. Yeah, the fight did take quite a while because my yo-yo does not do that much damage, but this was definitely manageable. I might use the same character on another world with a higher difficulty and see how much harder this fight can actually be. Or maybe I am getting a little bit overconfident here. After defeating the Eye of Cthulhu, I got a very disturbing mask costume that makes my character look way scarier than she needs to be. But I also got a bunch of crimson ore. Now, I don't know if this was a big mistake. Maybe crimson ore should be used in a better way, but I decided just to craft a new and improved yo-yo called Artery, which is a very interesting name, but it is considerably stronger. With this, I know I will be able to defeat that king slime with ease. So what are my thoughts on Terraria so far? Well, I really like it. It is a ton of fun. There are plenty of challenges and it seems like there are many secrets to uncover. I still have a lot to learn about this game, but I personally think that is when I have the most fun in games. But what did you think of this video? Would you like more of these? Please let me know in the comments below. Your feedback is always greatly appreciated. And since I'm so new to this game, do you have any tips and tricks for me? I know there is so much I don't know, so any tip would be greatly appreciated. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you did like this video, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. I have many Stardew Valley videos in the pipeline and probably some more Terraria videos too. But for now, I will see you in the next video.